anyway, so it's been a while for work, and I'm really
Excuse
happy
me,
I'm doing it.
Awesome Joe.
What?
You don't need to wear the mask.
You mean you can't have
No,
on?
you don't have to wear it when you're
No, I can't keep
recording.
this on.
You can take it off.
I take it off?
I don't know.
Why are you so long?
Excuse me.
I can breathe. Apparently I don't have to wear this anymore, so yay! But anyways, back to the point here, you guys. The fact is that it's been a while since I've been doing a video, and now that this whole the pandemic is still going on, you know, the world which we know it is still has changed, you know, still wearing these masks everywhere that we go. We still have to constantly wash our hands, and if we do feel a little under the weather, we do have to excuse ourselves from work and from our personal lives and keep ourselves quarantined. So we haven't heard anything just yet as to whether or not things are going to get back to the way they were, or things are going to be just as different as we know it today. But as well as I know that theaters are finally opening again, and I'm very happy about that because I find that going to the movie theaters is one of my most personal and favorable places to go. I love the smell of the buttery popcorn. I love the very comfortable seats, and just getting to enjoy a brand new movie on the big silver screen brings me a lot of great joy. So I'm very excited having to knowing that we're moving on, and pandemic or not, you know, we just got to continue on taking precaution and hope for the best. So let's go ahead and do what we love to do, which is talk about movies right now. So before we go ahead and get started here at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews, we'd like to give our most deepest respects and our condolences to a brilliant actor and man, Mr. Chadwick Boseman, and to his family. As of now, I'm sure everyone is aware of his recent passing due to stage 6 colon cancer, to which he was diagnosed with back in 2016. Even though I never had the privilege of getting to meet this great man, but instead witness and remember his amazing work he has done throughout the years, like Jackie Robinson in 42, or James Brown in Get On Up, or his most memorable role as King T'Challa in Black Panther. So let's give our brief moment of silence to Mr. Boseman and to his family. May he rest in peace, for it is never goodbye, but see you later. We love you 3000, and Wakanda forever. I haven't gone back to the theaters just yet per se. I know that there's some great movies that I was very excited in having to getting to go and see, like Tenet, New Mutants, Bill and Ted, and so on and so forth. But in the meantime, I did have some personal opinions of mine when this recent movie that I just watched that was just recently released out on Disney Plus right now, called Mulan. This is a live adaptation to the Disney classic animation film that came back out in 1998, and I remember that movie, and it's a really great movie, very inspiring, emotional, and it just really gets you into the China culture. And I really did love the movie a lot, very much. It is one of my favorable animated classics from Disney, and it was great getting to know that they were doing a live adaptation of that story. But if you were to ask me personally, I remember I saw the trailer to this movie, and immediately I said, I don't know if I'm going to like this. I don't know because it's true that I did say with The Lion King, when they did a live adaptation of that film, I didn't like the movie because the majority of that movie is an exact copy of the animated film. I wanted to see something new. I wanted to see a completely different story, sticking to its very roots of the source material, that's what I was looking for. So I feel like that's what Mulan was trying to do. You know, they listened. Disney did listen to all of the critics and audiences, thinking, what can we do that's different instead of telling the same exact story? Otherwise, we're just going to get complaints. So that's what they did. They did something completely different. They did stick to the source material, and I gotta say, if you just stay away from comparing this movie to the animated film, I can not guarantee it to you, but give you some specific idea to think that this can be an okay movie. I myself personally, after when I was done watching it, I thought that it was not that bad, honestly. I thought that it was not entertaining, but very interesting to watch. I didn't feel bored as I anticipated myself to being. I really didn't feel bored at all. I thought I was going to feel bored after watching the trailer. And but if you ask me, I think that they did try their best. I can honestly tell. I do love the choreographies that are in this. I do love the cinematography that's presented into the film. I mean, there's a lot of great scenery that looks just magnificently beautiful. It's like pulling it out of a painting, and I really did love that. There's a lot of very great, beautiful sequences in this movie that I very, very admired. This movie is directed by Nikki Caro, and she directed movies I'm not really familiar with, Whale Rider and Zookeeper's Wife, and so on and so forth. So I think that she probably might have something going on here with this movie. Like I said, I liked it very much. I'm not too sure about everybody else out there. I haven't really seen anyone else's reviews or their opinions about the film. But for me personally, I have to say I honestly did. I was okay with it. I liked it. It's not the best movie ever made, but it's an okay flick. I wasn't bored. It was fine. The comedy level is not in this. There's no comedy at all whatsoever. That's probably the only thing I wasn't really liking about this. Because in the animated film, like I said, it's not that I'm comparing. I'm just trying to set a point here. That in the animated film, the majority of it was all comedy. Why? Because it was meant for kids. And everyone was actually expecting for the character Mushu, who was voiced by Eddie Murphy, to be part of this movie, since we got Will Smith, which of course Robin Williams couldn't be with us, but Will Smith to be playing the genie in the Aladdin movie. So that's what we were expecting, getting to seeing some of that. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So instead, we got this very serious tone. It didn't really even feel Disney. It felt maybe something Universal would have done, or Warner Brothers. But for me, because one of my favorite movies I like a lot is the movie with Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. A lot of people don't like that movie, but for me, I actually loved it. And it's based in Japan, unlike Mulan, it's based in China. I can never tell the difference between those two cultures, and forgive me if I insult anybody about that comment. But for me, I found that movie to be a little bit of a comparison to it. But like I said, take away the comparisons to the animated film, and I think that you actually got a good movie to watch. Now, like it's on Disney Plus right now. And of course, it could not go out into theaters when it was supposed to back in March because of the whole pandemic thing going on. But we got it on Disney Plus. It's for $30. Do I think the movie is good enough to watch it for $30? I'd have to say no. I understand that they're trying to gain back their profit from everything that they've lost having to making this film, which I think was about a good $200 million. That's a lot. So I can understand why they wanted to pick it up to $30, because this is something that they've never done before, especially having Disney Plus being a new streaming service besides Hulu and Netflix. So I don't know if it's such of a great success just yet. But for me, in my personal opinion, I really did enjoy the movie. I think that and excuse me if I am very terrible in having to pronouncing these names, because I am very bad at pronouncing them. If I get them right, yoo-hoo for me, but I really have a terrible feeling that I'm going to mess up on these names here. like the character Mulan, who is played by Liu Yifei. I think that, oh gosh, I'm so terrible. I wish I knew how to pronounce them. But I think that the way that she portrayed the character of Mulan is not the same Mulan from the animated film. Like I said, no comparison, but I really did feel the character of a specific Mulan. And I actually enjoyed it. I liked it very much. I think that she did a really great job. I really cannot, I'm not familiar with any other Eastern actresses that could have done a better job than what she did. You know, I think of Zhang Ziyi maybe, but I think that she's gotten a little bit too older to play that specific role, which I think it's probably at, you know, like a younger 20s type of character. You know, and I think of Kelly Hu maybe, possibly, but she's gotten older as well, so, you know, they had to find a younger actress. So, and I think that she did a great job. I didn't have a problem with her at all whatsoever. Didn't find her annoying. I think that she did anything that she could possibly. She gave it her best. Then we got Donnie Yen, who plays this character called Commander Tung. I think he was in the animated film, I'm not sure, but I remember him. He was in Rogue One, and I'm pretty sure a lot of several other movies, but I'm very familiar with him in Star Wars Rogue One. I loved him. He was the blind character who always said, I'm one with the Force is with me, so I love that guy. Jet Li is in this. I didn't even know it was Jet Li until I found out in the comments section, I meant in the credits, saying that, oh, Jet Li was the Emperor. I was like, oh my gosh, man, that dude got old. He looks nothing. I mean, if you say Jet Li, I'm thinking The One, or the movie The One, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, War, you know, Romeo Must Die. You know, I'm thinking that Jet Li, not this older Jet Li. And I'm just like, wow, man, this guy really aged. I mean, just felt like the other day I just saw him as a younger guy, you know, making his way through Hollywood. But I think that he did okay. Then we also get Gong Li, who plays the character Xian Lang. And I don't know if you remember from the animated film, but there's this hawk who is like a pet side character to the bad guy of the film. And instead of it being just a hawk, it's actually some sort of witch. Why? Had something to do with having to give more identity to the Mulan character, I guess. It's like her exact opposite, her twin, and bringing her into whether or not, you know, society is not going to accept you for who you want to be, so join me and we'll do this, and this together. And I mean, I kind of understand that, but it's like, you got, this movie's kind of down to earth. It feels a little down to earth, but then when you have this character of a witch who transforms into a hawk, it kind of really pulls me out of the movie, feeling like it feels a little too fantasy for me. So I don't know if whether to decide whether or not this movie is down to earth or if it's a fantasy movie. So that's what it did for me. And then we get this character, Chen, who in the animated film is the commander of the army who trains the soldiers into being men, which is one of my favorite songs in the animated film, you know. The We Are Men, you must be swift as the coursing rain. I love that song. And so we get this guy, Yosan An, I think that's how I said it right, and he's not even the commander, he's just another soldier. And I don't know, I just think that I find that the relationship between the two, you know, Mulan and him, not as highly connectable as I would have hoped. But, you know, there's something in there. There's something in there. If they were to do a sequel, maybe they might extend on that. Jason Lee Scott. That one I know how to pronounce. So Jason Lee Scott, who plays the bad guy in this movie called Bon Khan. And I recognize him very, very easily. I know him. He's been in live adaptation Disney movies, movie from an animated film from Disney, The Jungle Book, back in 1994, I believe. And he played Mowgli, and I grown up Mowgli, and I actually love I love that guy in that movie. Then I seen him in Balls of Fury. He's so funny in that movie, and played Bruce Lee. I forgot what the movie is, something dragon, but I love him. When I see him, I'm like, hey, I know that guy. So Zima, who plays Fa Zhou, who plays Mulan's father, the only reason why Mulan extends her character, becoming, you know, huge in this story, you know, becoming more than who people look at her to being, You know, the dad, he's sick, he's injured, and he's not fully capable of going to the war, and he has no other sons to take his place. So that's where Mulan steps on in, takes his armor, his sword, and rides off into war. Which, I mean, I find it really, really inspiring. I find it something that really uplifts me enough to say, you know what, if you're capable of doing this, and if you love your father so much, by all means, go for it. I mean, that makes her a really great character. In the animated movie, it was very strong and uplifting. But in this one, I don't know, I feel like they skipped a few things. And, I mean, there's a lot of things in the animated film that I wish that was a part of this, you know, regardless if it's going to be a down-to-earth story. But I still had fun with this movie. I really did. I wasn't bored at all whatsoever. I really did enjoy the message that was even put into this film, you know. Like, be who you are and not hide your true self to accomplish your destiny. And I really did like that. Because there's a scene in there, you know, she portrays herself as a man so that other soldiers won't recognize her as a woman. And they're so sexist, you know, I don't really understand that, those ways of life back in the day. I'm all about equalism. And when I see this, it kind of upsets me on how things like that used to happen. You know, she does what she can. She actually saves the soldiers, and when she comes to her true self, and she removes all of her armor, her helmet, she rides off into battle. You know, she saves all of her soldier friends, and you know, and I love on how she does this avalanche scene, and it's just amazing. I really did like that. And oh my gosh, man, the way the choreography worked in this movie was phenomenal. I loved it. And another huge plus to the movie. So like I said earlier, there was no Mushu in this. No Eddie Murphy Mushu. I wish there was. But instead, we got a replacement of this certain phoenix type of bird hovering around Mulan throughout the entire movie. You know, it just pops up every so often. Did I like that? Nah, not really. I wanted the dragon, honestly. I really wanted the dragon. So that's a disappointment for me. You know, there's no cricket. You know, there's no mother. She has a sister, a grandmother. There's no sister in this movie. So there's a lot of differentiacies in this. There's no comedy. You know, but it's still fun. Still a fun movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 78%, and for me, I actually enjoyed this movie. I thought I was going to give it a lower rating before I watched it, maybe giving it probably in its 20s or 30s, but apparently I'm around that range of Rotten Tomatoes, giving it a 71%, and it's a great movie. Do I recommend watching it on Disney Plus for $30? Not entirely, but if you're into the culture, if you're into those certain type of movies, then by all means, go for it. But I would rather prefer to wait for it to come out on DVD, Blu-ray, or being free itself, like everything else on Disney Plus. But that's my review for Mulan here, you guys. I am very, very excited to let you guys know that I am back. I am talking about movies again. And slowly but surely, because a lot of things have differentiated in this year of 2020. You know, I moved to a new location. You know, I got a lot more responsibilities. I got a new job, pays a lot more, better money. You know, there's a lot of things that just happened that really took a big toll in my life, and having to know, you know, besides the whole pandemic stuff going on. But you know, it's still a great year, regardless of everything that's been going on. So, you know, and thank you very much for respecting Mr. Chadwick Boseman and his family for that little bit that I put on earlier to give in remembrance to his passing. So, but yeah, you guys, I'm Awesome Joe. If you guys want to see some more of my videos, you can check me out on Facebook and on YouTube. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button here, you guys. And if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please, you're more than welcome to leave it down in the comment section, and let's have an awesome conversation in relation to this movie or any movies you'd like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So I'm Awesome Joe. Keep on living the dream, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video.